Good evening, Mohammed from Egypt over there in Cairo. Shirley, good evening. Thank you for that. Laser, Marcus, it's good to see you guys here. Thanks for taking the time today. Okay, Ed, yes. Guys, I'm not sure about you, but I'm finally reaching that stage where I have to start thinking, do I need glasses? I haven't had glasses my entire life. I don't wear contact glasses, but everything starts to seem blurry to me. And I thought maybe it was something wrong with the computer screen, but apparently it turns out it could be my eyes. Bernhardt, hi, Carl, good evening to you. Good morning or good afternoon, not sure where you are. Felix, good to see you again. We're going to do the same we did on Sunday night. So, but no, I'm going to show you a little bit something new, which I didn't get right on Sunday night. Okay, Surrey in the UK. That's great, Shirley. Hello from Toronto, Canada. It's still morning there for you guys, or afternoon, right? Oregon. Hi there, CD. And Sean is from Tampa. Oh, Abdul, hello. Don, good morning. Yes, and Ed, yes, had to around 45 years old. How did you know? Hey, guy, that's my age. Ed, are you stalking me online? I hope not, right? Right. Marcus, yes, there is sound. If they know we're talking about age, they can hear it. If you cannot hear us, then just refresh it. And I know that we have had people say Chrome is working well and that Firefox works very well. It happens to all of us. Boozin, good evening. Gad, you are an old dog. Welcome, right? Yes, Nick. Hello up there in Greece. Sven, good evening. Sam, I'm going through a few names here, and then Lee from Florida. Oh, Asanpro, you were first here from this city. I saw you already here 20 minutes before the time knocking to come in. And then there's a good afternoon from Alessandro. Milos from Serbia. That's great to see you guys there, right? Finland, Kimo, good evening. And there's Mohammed, you already said hello. Do you want to get two hellos? No, come on, you have to share that. Brian, who like it? Gaan het goed daar in South Africa? We're on lockdown tonight, so I guess for all of you who already know the situation and you have already experienced it, actually, tonight officially we're in South Africa going into lockdown for 21 days. And up to yesterday, I still thought it was okay because I could walk my dog, and then the ministers, they decided to reverse that today. Now we are allowed to walk our dog inside our house. How do you like that for changing the language, right? And so no jogging. You can also jog inside your house. Apparently that's allowed. And that, right. Yeah, the guitar there, that is gathering a lot of dust, Carl. That is true. One thing, though, that I'm immediately noticing, and if you've been checking the internet, you should be aware of this, that I can see the resolution of the video is a tad lower than it used to be, and that is because of the bandwidth restrictions and the overusage of people watching Netflix. So we have to contend with that, but we can still connect all over the world. Stefano, good evening. Manikanta, India, hello. And self-isolated. Oh, Shirley, 2 weeks already. I'm not too worried about it. I've been working from home and I've been doing a lot of work from home, so it is nothing new to me. And I've been in conference calls almost up to hours per day lately. We are using Microsoft Teams a lot for that and Zoom. So I'm not sure if any of you have had the opportunity to be doing these conference calls from home. So I'm sitting here with tea the whole time and working on that. Right. At risk category. Oi, not good. Okay, guys, enough talk. Let's begin our evening. Welcome here. This is Brizzy. And tonight we are tackling how to add pop-ups on any website with Brizy Cloud. Now, actually, I did a run on this on Sunday night, and we had a nice little group join us for that. And I covered everything there, so it was a good trial run for tonight. But I discovered a few things in the meantime, and they are very important for tonight. Let me just quickly type there for Lux because I'm running solo. Refresh your website or use Chrome/Firefox. Okay. Because he says he cannot hear anything, so it doesn't help I talk to him. He won't hear what I'm saying. Right. So just quickly, as you know, that Brizzy is currently running the last 1,000 licenses for the WordPress Pro plugin at the price of $299 US. It was 1,000 and it's sitting at 735. I know this kind of decision is kind of difficult to make at this moment with the uncertainty we are at the moment. People don't really want to spend money, but it's something you can consider. If you're still on the fence about getting Brizzy WordPress Plugin Pro, hop on over to brizzy.io. There is still 735 of those licenses left. And I see Anthony, my man, you are there. Good evening. Los Angeles, we are very happy to have you here. Coming back to this 735, the price is $299. So just a quick thing, because I often see it on Facebook and I also see it here when we are busy in these webinars, is people ask for discounts on the limited lifetime license deals. As we go forward, that is more and more unlikely to happen. So the $299 that you see now, once that 735 reaches zero, the price will increase. It doesn't mean that the lifetime deal will go away, but it will increase and you will not get it again for $299. Carl says it's worth every cent, says an early bird. I have to say, and I'm taking us back now almost 2 years ago. 2 years is 2018 May when I first tested Brizzy. And the thing that got me from the very beginning when I first tested Brizzy was definitely the user interface. I was like, oh, this thing looks like something for kindergarten kids. And I was like, no, this cannot be a serious page builder. It's too easy to use. And the more I started using it, the more I got into it. We know there's a long way to go. We're looking forward to e-commerce. We're looking forward to more dedicated dynamic work in terms of block conditions. And I can't say much because I don't want to promise anything. And then during this lockdown, somebody comes break down my door to know why this hasn't been released. But there's a lot in the works. And you've seen that there's been a lot of releases lately. And I just see what Philippe said, and I think it's very interesting. At this moment, the greeting that I've had with people in conference calls in the last 2 weeks starts with, are you safe? And then it ends with, take care, be safe. And I think it's so wonderful how the world all over, doesn't matter where you are, greet each other with this. How are you doing? Are you safe? How's your family? And then when we say goodbye, be safe. It's a great experience in this dark time that we can reach out to each other like that. Good. So let's move on forward before I get all teary-eyed here. Let's see the session goals for tonight. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create an external pop-up using Brizy Cloud. And don't fret, this is Brizy Cloud free and pro. And this is the mistake I had made on Sunday, is I thought it's only for pro. I'm going to show you how to do that in Brizy Cloud free as well. That will be pre-recorded, so hopefully we get a little bit higher resolution for that. Then you're going to learn how to add that automatic trigger to your pop-up and show you how to embed the pop-up on any website. Not each and every website, but I'm going to show you that if you have a set of WordPress websites, how you can take that Brizy Cloud pop-up and put it in there and it works like a charm. All of that coming up. Before that, the next slide says it's about 50 to 60 minutes, which I would say is correct, but I've been talking a lot so much. I think I have my own radio show here that I forget to present. And like I mentioned, the show is pre-recorded. This will me stay with you in the chat. I think that means this will let me stay with you in the chat. So please put your questions there. I'll answer them at the end. Shoo, Dimitri has put a lot of pressure on my shoulders for that. And there's a small surprise at the end. No tech support in this webinar, and really, people, I don't know much more than you would know in terms of what the future holds when it comes to Brizzy or anything else for that matter. So any tech questions, new releases, when, what is coming, don't even bother asking me. I really cannot help you with that. Manikanto, Dimi, as Romania is also in a lot of experience the international crisis. So Dimi is taking a nice little break tonight. He may be somewhere there in the chat group later to come and check if I'm doing a good job and earn my worth. Maybe we'll see him around there. Good. Let's talk about me. Who wants to talk about me? Right, so I'm the content developer for Brizzy YouTube and webinars, and my name is Jean-Pierre Pelissier. Now, if you see my name, the first reaction you'll get is, you must be French, right? Unfortunately, guys, I can only say je ne parle pas français as much as it goes to French. My forefathers were French, but we in South Africa either come from England or we come from Europe or all over the world, or we are from Africa itself. And I speak Afrikaans as a mother tongue, English fluently. So yes, there's no French anymore in me. I think I'm more Dutch than I am probably French at this moment. So I got into web design because I was providing it as an add-on service to clients of mine for whom I was doing projects on photography and video. And it just became to me something like, this is actually so easy to do. I used to think you needed to have all this coding experience to create websites. And when I discovered WordPress, I was like, why are people charging me so much? Let me do it. And I charged them instead. Right. And I wake up every morning at 3:30. It's a bad habit, I believe, because I start that early. And around this time, I just want to go to sleep. And that's why I end up drinking too much coffee every day. Mark Richard says, cool photo. Mark, I'm not so sure about that photo. And in the meantime, I've chipped a tooth as well. So I still need to get to the dentist, but apparently dentist is not an essential service. Right, Renee, you are so Dutch. I wonder, is that accent or the look? Not so sure. Oscar, good evening. Let's go for it. Let's get into the video for tonight. So before we start the video, this is pre-recorded. If you have attended this course or this webinar before, you will know what to expect. The moment I'll play it, in the bottom left-hand corner, there will be a volume button, and you will have to turn that up. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear. Some browsers will have the audio on. Some browsers will not have the audio on. So if you hear nothing from the video, check there in the bottom left-hand corner where you see the audio controls and click on that. Let's jump into that and begin our session for tonight. Looking at what you can do with the external pop-ups and how you can build it out. And do you like my desktop screen? I think very nice art. I love this kind of retro art. Is it retro? I don't know, but I love it. I have two browsers here open at the bottom. The reason I have two open is because the one has Brizzy Cloud free, and you can only have one open at one time in the browser, and the other one has got Brizzy Cloud Pro. So here, this is the new Edge. If I click on this Edge, I'm in free, but I will also notify you that, hey, we're in free. And then this one over here is in Pro, and I will again tell you, hey, we are in Pro. But not like that. I will do it a little bit more professional. So, hey, we're in free. Now we are in free. One of the things you're going to get confused with when you are starting with Brizzy and you're just testing it and maybe you upgrade is, am I in free or am I in Pro? And the easiest way to know whether you are working with a free Brizzy Cloud version is to go up here where it says My Personal Projects. If you click on the drop down, it will tell you here, create new account page, upgrade. The moment you see that upgrade, it means you are a free user. That is your cue for knowing this is free. And if you were to click on this, it's going to open a new tab and it's going to tell you to pay some money to upgrade. The reason I'm showing you Brizzy Cloud free is because I discovered something very interesting, and that is that the external pop-ups are also included in Brizzy Cloud free. Really? Pop-ups in free? Yes, but no, but yes, but no. And I'll show you very soon what I mean by that. Let's just go over, and now go over to Brizzy Cloud Pro. And then I want to show you how it will look differently to that of Brizzy Cloud Free. If you go to the Pro version and you go up here to My Personal Projects, you will see that it will tell you you can create a new account. That's going to be basically, in my opinion, your only clue whether you are in the free version or in the Pro version, because the filters up here are the same. Now, up to this morning, I thought that these were unnecessary for the free version, and then I found out I'm wrong. So let's go back into free, and I'm going to use free now because everything I show you here is applicable to Brizzy Cloud Pro, but then we will just go and have a look at Pro very soon. Now, up here, the filter, and this is new in the latest update, you have these filters for websites and pop-ups. Currently, I have 3 projects, which are single-site websites. And if I were to filter them and I click here on websites, nothing's going to happen because it's 3 websites. But if I were to click on pop-ups, and I did, you will see there's nothing there. And this, go back here to all projects, you will see them all again. You have some more control over here to sort them, most recent ones, alphabetical, as well as date created. This will become in very handy because as I had been playing around, especially in Brizy Cloud Pro, I've been building out quite a number, and this can become super, super useful. The more I use Cloud, and I hate to say this because I'm a big WordPress user, the more I use Cloud, the more I like the simplicity of it and the ease of use. There's still a long, long way in terms of features, funnels, e-commerce and blogs and those things to come. But in terms of ease of use, I love it. Everything in one place, and you can create all these unlimited pages and sites. I'm struggling here and fighting with a cat who wants to get... Obi, move that side. Okay. Let me focus back here. Let's go and create a new project, and we start over here. Click on that, and with the new splash pop-up screen, you will see the option here to website and landing page. On this side, pop-up and alert. And this is where I made a mistake. I thought this is only a pro feature, but actually it isn't. So what we're going to do is to create a pop-up and alert here. And I think you are probably already very confused. How's this going to work? Let's change the name first here, and I'm going to call it free external pop-up. And if you wondered, my cat's name is Obi, not Obi-Wan, but Obi-san, in case you heard me call him. Right. It says free external pop-up here, and it says get embed code. But before we do that, let's go and see how we're going to create this pop-up. And this is where the wordplay comes in, because you can have an external pop-up, but you cannot use a pop-up builder. You can use the Brizzy builder. So let's say edit pop-up, and it will open the Brizzy builder for us. And basically you get a single site. So start building your pop-up when you click here, and of course everything is pro. So you don't have any of these options. And then if you go to add a blank pop-up and you click that, you get the pop-up builder. For reals. This is for real. You get it in Brizzy free. Good grief. So you're going to build it out here by yourself. You bring in your own stuff. You can bring in images. You can bring in your text. And you have all those features. I'm not going to do that now. Let me just make this image a little bit smaller. You have all those features that you would have in building pop-ups, like how to style this button, move it around, okay, inside or out. All of these things that we had shown you that you can do up here, the placement. I'm talking free. I'm talking free. So you start thinking about what you can do with this. It doesn't make, it's just unbelievable, right? This isn't free. So let's say, for example, this is my magnificent pop-up that I want to create. I'm going to say publish. This is all I'm going to show you in the free version. I just want to show you that you can create an external pop-up within Brizy Cloud free, and that you do have access to the pop-up Brizzy builder. You just don't have access to those pre-made pop-ups. So you have to build it from scratch by yourself. Let's go now to Pro, because everything that I'm going to do there in terms of how to get the code, how to place it in other sites, is going to be the same between these two platforms. But what is very important to understand is that this feature of external pop-ups has been created to give you external pop-ups in other sites not created within Brizzy. So if you have other WordPress sites, Wix, Squarespace, all of that, you can add these external pop-ups to those sites. And you will do that by inserting that code over here into the footer area. I'm not going to show you how to do that for all the platforms, but I am going to show you how to do that for WordPress, because I like WordPress, right? Good, so let's get rid of, should I close this? Let's not close it. Let's just hop on over. And now, remember, I told you I'll say it in a very professional voice. Now you are in Brizy Cloud Pro. I hope that sounded professional enough. What I have here is that I've already created a few pop-ups and I have websites. So let's just look at how the filter will play out. If I click on websites, we have these 3 websites. And if I click on pop-ups, I have these 2 pop-ups here that I've created. So you can see now how that filter will work. Before we do that, I just want to go up here to the account area where it is my personal projects. What is great here is that if you want to maybe create external pop-ups for other clients and you want to keep it all in one dashboard, one area where it doesn't mess with any of your other projects, go up here and create a new account, and let's call that my external pop-ups. and then you click here on the plus to add it to your projects. Okay, what happens? It takes you immediately into the dashboard of your external pop-ups. To switch back to your other work areas, just click here on the drop down and you will see my personal projects. That's the one I started with, landing pages and external pop-ups. You can delete this if you're done with it, and you can also edit it. Awesome. Click on it and you can edit it over here. The other great thing about this management is that here you see my team for external pop-ups currently only includes one team member. And guess who's that? Well, it is me, right? So it's only one team member in this team. So I can select per account who are the team members in that account. If I go to landing pages, you will see from the Brizzy team, we are a group of 8 over there. And if we go to my personal projects, you will see again only me over there. Go back to external pop-ups. That's where I want to quickly show you how we're going to do this thing. Click on create new project and we click again pop-up and alert, create that, and there we have it. And we're going to say pro pop-up so we can distinguish. And I keep switching between pop-up 1 word and pop-up 2 words. There was a time in English the rule was very clear. You do not combine 2 words. And now lately I see with coronavirus, they write it as 1 word. And I was taught you do not combine 2 words when you make a noun. It must stay separate. So I'm not sure. World keeps changing. Even grammar isn't what it used to be. Let's go and edit the pop-up to make one, which we can work with. And this time we are going into Brizzy Cloud Pro, which means we will have access to the Pro, what do you call those things again? Templates, blocks, the Pro pop-ups. Start building your pop-up and let's grab one of these examples over here. And let's choose this one, 10% off, probably the thing we want to offer people. And I'm going to leave it as is. I'm not going to make changes here because no need to do that. We just want to have a rough idea of how this works. You'll notice though that in the bottom right hand corner it says publish. This is one of the ways in which Brizzy Cloud is a little bit different, is that when you come in the first time, it will give you this publish. Strictly speaking, it should be published already because you had created it, but just for how this is set up, you have to click on publish again. Once I click here, it will from now on say update. So if I want to make any changes now after this, let's say, for example, we want to change a little bit the background color. And let's put some opacity there. Then I can just say update and I can enter my stuff here. Now, let's exit here, go back to the dashboard, and I want to talk quickly about why on earth do I want to have an external pop-up. Number one, the reason I gave you earlier is that maybe you are working on platforms that do not have this feature. Awesome, right? You can now come here, make that pop up, and then you can include it on those other content management systems or website platforms, which one you are preferring. You maybe already have a website that you have spent a lot of time in investing for a client. They've bought 5 years of hosting and they don't want to move, but you have this awesome pop-up feature for them. Yes, you can do that for them. But here for me comes a very second important point, and that is, if you are managing for one client, multiple sites, but they are kind of related like e-commerce sites, and you are running a promotion like, hey, if you sign up to our newsletter, we give you 10% discount at this online training store, something like that. Then what you can do with that is you can take this one external pop-up, put it on all those various sites, and when they fill in the form, you come over here to leads, right? And everything will be collected in one area. Okay, I know what you're going to tell me. Yes, but there is no current. I cannot get the leads in my email. I know, that's in the works, right? Development team is working on that. Currently, what you will have to do is you will have to come back manually in your own time and come check your leads. At minimum, you can at least export it to CVS or XLSX, right? That's the new Excel. So we have created this pop-up. Let's look at it, and this will give us the preview. So I click here. Oh, no, it doesn't give us the preview. I'm totally wrong. This gives us the pop-up embed code. JP learned again. Let's rather click on Get Embed Code. If I click on that, it gives me this code. I don't have to highlight it the way I did. All you need to do is you need to click here on Copy Code. and you click on that, it will automatically take it to your clipboard. So now we're going to leave Brizy Cloud for a while, and we're going into WordPress. Here I have a site, and this site was made 100% with WordPress. There is no other plugins in terms of page builders within this site. And the reason I'm showing you particularly WordPress is because I know it, but because a lot of Brizy Cloud users do have the WordPress plugin as well, or come from WordPress, so you are familiar with WordPress. Now this site is actually a starter site. So if you're interested in starter sites, and there's a lot starter sites in this theme for Brizy as well, is one of our partners, Suki. How are we going to add this into Suki now? Actually, I sat down with some of these theme developers, and they have areas which you can insert. Now, Suki has a way, and I'm not going to show you how to do it because I want to show you a much easier way on how to do it. In Suki, if you have Suki installed, and if you have Suki Pro, which I don't think I have installed here, I don't have Suki Pro installed here, but if you did, you will have the option here to create custom blocks, hooks, and that's where you will enter that code. This code, where is that code? This code that we had copied, and you will enter it within those blocks that you will be creating. The problem with using a theme's footer injection is that if you do decide in the future that you want to switch themes, that you're going to have a problem because how that is set up won't work from one theme to the next theme. So to make that very, very easy, you use a plugin. Go to plugins and let's click on add new. And the plugin we are looking for in the WordPress repository is called Insert Headers and Footers. I kid you not. Insert Headers and Footers. That's it. Insert Headers and Footers. There you go. And it gives you an indication that this is a very popular plugin at 900,000 plus active installations. Click on Install Now. And this is a very lightweight plugin, and I guarantee you it works the way it should. Click on Activate, and then let's go and see how Insert Headers and Footers look. Go to Settings in the navigation sidebar, and here at the bottom you see Insert Headers and Footers. Click on Insert Headers and Footers, and then here you will see you have header area, body area, and footer area. You need to insert that code here in the footer. Let's just go have a look again. Here is our external pop-up that we had created. Click on Get Embed Code. Click on Copy Code. And then here in Scripts in Footer, Control Command V to paste it. Save your page. And now I'm going to click up here on the name to take me to the front end. And what's going on? Nothing is happening. There it happened. And this brings us to point number 2 when creating it. Hey, what about triggers? Now, if you've never worked with a pop-up, you probably don't know what I mean when I say triggers. I'm going to leave this open here, and I'm going to go back to Brizy Cloud Admin. I close this one, and we go back into our pop-up builder. Click on Edit Pop-up. Let's go have a look at our triggers. Usually when making a pop-up, there are 2 things that we look at. One is called triggers, and the other one is called conditions. Trigger tells the pop-up when to appear, and a condition tells the pop-up where to appear. Like, I want you to appear on my post pages. I want you to appear only on my Contact Us page. The external pop-ups will not have conditions because that's quite difficult to figure that one out. And between the different platforms, you don't have that kind of communications. But it does have triggers. To access the triggers, when you are here in the pop-up builder, go to the settings in the top right-hand corner and click on the icon for the settings. Then shoop all the way into the left. And over here, you have all the control over the pop-up. So you can activate scroll page behind if you still want that pop-up to display, make it global, which we are not interested in, And you also have an option here for close. One of the features I like is this one. Where is it? Display, close, but delay. I like the delay button, and I will put it like on 2 seconds, which means that when this pop-up appears, that close little icon there will not appear for 2 seconds. You kind of force your viewer to look at this pop-up. You can make it more, 3 or 4 seconds, but for this tutorial, I'm just going to put it on 2. We can see if it can work. Maybe it doesn't work. But what is important is that we have to look at the triggers. Go back here to where it says pop-up, and at the bottom, display conditions. You will see here it says triggers. Usually for the pop-up builder internally or natively within Brizy Cloud and Brizy WordPress, you will see it says triggers and conditions. Well, as I explained to you, no conditions here. We only work with triggers. So the one that I had used here is set to on-page load and a 1. And this is the default setting. What that means is that when I open this page, after 1 second, the pop-up appeared. It says 1 second, but it feels to me like it's always 1 times 2. It's like 2 or 3 seconds. It feels much longer for me. You have other kinds of triggers that you can apply here. For example, let's say this one that I like to use called on-page exit intent. I activate that and I click save. I'll click outside here and then I will say update. Now I don't need to make any changes to the code. That embed code, remember that we had copied and we had pasted in WordPress. You don't need to go and update that. This condition is baked into it. So if we go again to this front page, remember I changed the trigger on exit intent or intent on exit. I forget the exact wording for that. Let's refresh this page and I'm going to press Control 5 here on my Windows and let's see what happens. Let's see if this had refreshed. Remember previously it was set to on page load 1 second. We're past the 1 second. Nothing has happened. Nothing to impress us. And I scroll down and keep your eye on my cursor. My cursor remains within the monitor frame here or within the canvas area. If I were to go outside either to the top or the bottom, that will indicate my intent to leave this page. For example, I want to go to another page. Let's see if this cursor moves over the top, whether my pop-up will appear. And it does. Eureka! No, Eureka is wrong. Eureka means I got it. It worked, right? It worked, and we are so happy it worked. So there you can see we're working in a WordPress site, no Brizy installed on this site, and we are linking to that external pop-up. It's a miracle, right? Let's close it, and let's go look at another trigger. Go again to the settings, all the way to the left, click on display conditions. And here we have our triggers. On page exit intent, that is the one that we had used. Another one over here, I like on scroll. And let's say we're going to say scroll up. Now what scroll up means is that, better show you. Let's say save. Click outside and update it again. I'm not sure if I need to click update. I guess I should. Go back to the WordPress site and I press Control F5 on my keyboard to reload this page. Now the idea here is that behavior of visitors is that they scroll down on your page. Like I scroll down, I scroll down, I scroll down. Scrolling down kind of signals that you are still interested in the site and you want to know more about the site. So you scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. But let's say here at this mark, which is what, almost 66%, I decide, this is useless. I'm not interested in this site. And then normal behavior dictates that you scroll back up. You want to go to the top of the site again. And that is what that trigger, scroll up, will trigger. The moment I'm going to scroll up, the trigger will appear. And there it does. So this is also almost similar to exit intent to make sure that when people want to scroll back up and leave your page, that this pop-up will appear here. Now I've shown you how to embed that. That is super easy, right? And that means that if you've got 6, 7, or 205 million websites and you want to collect a commercial or you want to collect something from all of those sites, like a promotion you've got going on, then you can just use this one pop-up and you can embed it on all those sites and you can collect all those leads in one area. Brilliant, right? Before we exit here, I want to bring your attention to one little condition here that you should take into consideration, and that is trigger pop-up only once. This is switched off by default, and this was actually a request that I had when we had tested the beta pop-ups a few months ago, because it had been switched on by default. What this does is, if this pop-up is, or if this selector is switched on, this pop-up will appear to any user only once. Why would you want that? For example, here we go to this page, and at the top of this page, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I click here on recipes, and remember, I haven't changed anything yet to the site, I scroll down and I scroll up, the pop-up appears. I'm like, okay, second time, I get it. Then I go to another one. Let's say I want to go look at tips. Okay, tips is interesting. Let's see what's here in tips. And this is like a category archive page, and I go to Tokyo Food and I click on that. Now I'm actually within a post, and I scroll down and I scroll up, and there's the pop-up again. Now usually, if you want to annoy people and really get them to submit to something, you will do that. But in other cases, you don't want to do that all the time to people, because it gets super annoying, right? Especially if it is a subscription and this person has already seen it and they've already decided not to subscribe, and they have already subscribed. So that is where this one comes in. Trigger pop-up only once. Once activated, that pop-up will appear per user, and it looks at the IP address. It will only pop up one time. After that, it will not appear repeatedly. So the question is, if that is good practice, why is it switched off by default? And the answer for that is, while you are building, you want to test it, right? Like I was doing over here, I was testing it to make sure that it works. If you switch it on and you save everything and you test, it will only work one time, and after that it will not work again, because you've tested it on your own IP once, so it registers that. You don't want that. While you are then busy testing, make sure this one remains off. But once you are ready to really deploy this external pop-up, make sure you switch it on. Okay, so I'm still going to switch it off because I want to keep testing it, but just remember this is very, very important. The second one is you can also add more than one trigger, because currently it's set on scroll and it's set up. But what if a person just scrolls down and then, let's say over here, scroll down and there's a sticky header at the top, and then they want to exit. There's no scroll up. So then we add a second trigger. So add a new trigger condition, and I'm going to say I also want it on page exit intent. So click save and then update that. And the shortcut key for update, like usual, Control S on Windows, Command S on a Mac. Go here, let's choose another page to activate it again. Let's go to About. Now remember, the first trigger means scroll up. So I'm going to scroll down. Then I get here to the bottom. I'm like, yeah, not interested in this site. I am not going to scroll up now. I'm just going to take my cursor because I want to exit. So this is your fail safe. If you think that maybe this person will never scroll up, then you bring in that second trigger. You can add many more triggers. Have a quick look at the other triggers that are here, and they are the same kind of triggers that you will get in the WordPress plugin as well as in the pop-up builder for Brizy Cloud Pro. Some tongue twisters here today. On page load, that is the one when people open the page, and then it will say how many seconds. You type in there 1 or 2 seconds or more. After inactivity means how long this cursor hasn't moved. So if I put it, for example, there on 2 seconds. After inactivity, I have to remember on scroll arriving from. You can set the pages where people arrive from to make sure that, especially if you want to hide people who come from certain ones, they don't see that pop up, then you can add it there. We've got videos on this, so go and check it out in our video library. And if there are any new things in here, I will also release many videos in the coming days on all these new features that we've had in the updates for Brizy Cloud, as well as the updates for, what is that one called, Brizy WordPress. So let's talk quickly about the unspoken elephant in the room. And that is again our friend over here. And this is our friend Brizy Cloud Free. Now this is where I'm thinking, interesting. There is no pop-up builder here, right? That is a Brizy Pro feature. But you can build this external pop-up. Can I embed that in a Brizy Cloud Free site? So let's grab this code here, get embed code, copy the code, close it, and then let's see, I have this site here. I just want to see there is no pop-up for it. Development, let's go view it on the front end. I'm not sure, did I? Okay, yep, no pop-up here. So I've created this page entirely with Brizy Free. Hey, good looking page, right? And good looking models as well. Let's go here, and that was this site here, and we click on edit project. And then we go here to the sidebar, click on settings, and look at code injection. Do you think that rings a bell? Click on code injection, and here you see again code injection footer. Okay, let's paste that code. Control V, Command V. Save changes, click outside, update, and seeing that we already have a front copy open, we can just refresh this, and then we should have on page load 1 second. So let's see if that happens after 1 second, the page loads. There you go, pop-up appears. So you have actually full access to pop-up builder within Brizy Free sites. Right? Bet you didn't know that. And I think that's it. We've covered everything here that we can think of in terms of this external pop-up. Let's just go have a look again at the Pro area. I'm going to exit here and go through those things that I had shown you at the very beginning. Again, your account management up here, your client accounts or your project management, you can cycle through these, you can give them different names, you can delete it, and you can create new ones. Great. Over here, I've created my pop-up, and I have the option to filter here. To create a new pop-up, you go to create new project, select your pop-up, you create it, and you set your conditions. How are you going to insert that on other platforms? You will have to check with those platforms. If you're going to do that in WordPress, the easiest is to go into WordPress, go into your administration area, plugins, and select add new. Over here, you're going to look for insert headers and footers. And even though it is such a practical name, you better write it down because I keep forgetting it. I have a little post-it here in front of me on which I keep writing it down. Insert headers and footers. You're going to install it and then activate it. And then after that, when you go to settings, you will see it appears over here, insert headers and footers. Go back to your cloud. You will click on get embed code. Click on copy code. Go to your site and you paste it in the footer, scripts in footer, and save it. If you make any changes to this specific pop-up, you do not need to get the embed code again and come and do like a refresh over here. That's not necessary. You can just make the changes here and it will automatically update because it doesn't need any different code from here. Make sure you save it. And then at the end of the day, when you want to change that pop-up or you're not interested in it anymore, come back here, delete it, save it. And now when you go to the front end, your page is back to vanilla installation of that starter site with no pop-ups. And that is external pop-ups, Brizy Free and Brizy Pro. The only difference is that in Brizy Pro, the pop-up builder will give you full access to the library of pre-made pop-ups, whereas in Brizy Cloud Free, you have to build it yourself. I bet you didn't know that. I'm pretty sure you didn't know about the Brizy Cloud Free feature I sure didn't know. Speech for 2 minutes. Can you guys see me? Let me know there. Audio and video settings, I think it's back. Right. Yes, well done. Okay, thank you. I got 5-star rating over there. So I'm not sure what you heard and I'm not sure what you didn't hear. I'm back. I wanted to clear up what I had said, and apologies if I'm saying it for a second time and you did hear that. This live webinar has got a very strange UI. I don't know how these guys designed it. It's not very user-friendly in my opinion, but yeah, we're doing it. What I wanted to say is that you can use mailer integration naturally within the Brizzy Builder Pro. So like Sendinblue, Campaign Monitor, MailJet, those will all work in Brizzy Cloud Pro. So you do have access to collect those leads within your mailers. Currently, the only thing you don't have is your own email integration. That is not there yet. Okay, good. So I've jotted down a few of the suggestions and the questions. There were some technical questions in there. And the question was that I can share now with you. If you were creating this external pop-up, can you put it on an external site and then put it, for example, in a header where people click on it and it will pop up? No, that's not going to work unless you've got Brizzy Free on that site. No, that will also not work. Yeah, that one will also not work. You still need Brizzy Pro for that. And if you've got Brizzy Pro, you're just going to create that pop-up directly within that. Good. Let's see what's happening. We were here on how to add pop-ups. Thank you very much for that. Let's wrap it up before we go. There's again still 735 of these licenses left. So remember, if you want to grab yourself one of those lifetime licenses at the price of $299, make sure you do so. 735, tick, 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 gone. And then the surprise is that everyone tonight will get an email with a discount of 15% on the Brizzy annual subscriptions, not the lifetime license. Remember that thing I told you? There isn't going to be any discounts on that limited lifetime deal, but there's a 50% discount that you will get for watching for tonight on a Brizzy Pro plan, which covers the annual subscriptions. Works on yearly, personal, and studio plans. There it says that, and expect an email shortly from us. So let's see, does it work only with WordPress or HTML? HTML site as well, LG. It works with HTML sites. It works with Wix. It works with Squarespace. So that is the whole idea of these external pop-ups. It can work on any other site out there. I'm thinking of testing for webinars, any feedback from others. Yeah, that is it. I've tested Webinar Jam on Sunday, and I cannot give really feedback yet, Mark, because again, seems that where I'm sitting at the moment, my internet connection is really bad. So I'm trying to judge what is working, what isn't, but it's a very bad time of the year with the restriction on bandwidth in certain areas to judge that. But I've heard Webinar Jam very good, trying to test it to see how that does. Okay, Anthony says, it's awesome. I've heard every good things about Webinar Jam, and I've made that investment. I'm on the 30-day money-back guarantee, so that's why I'm testing it out. But I think when it comes to user interface, it is marvelous. It's just very user-friendly for dummies like me. Everyone, thank you very much for the conversation that we've had tonight, joining me on this Thursday night as South Africa is also joining the lockdown in the world. And as we greeted and as I told you, I hope you are doing well. Be safe. See you next time around and have a good night. Have a good day. Cheers, everyone.